They were the most unforgettable women of their time. Beautiful, mysterious, and impossible to ignore. But let me ask you something. What really happened to them after the cameras stopped rolling? Why did some of them walk away from fame while others seemed to disappear completely? Was it by choice, or was there something more behind it? And today, when you think back, do you remember the characters or the women behind them? Before we begin, let me know in the comments. Which Bond girl do you remember the most? If you enjoy these stories, don't forget to subscribe, and if there's someone you'd like us to cover next, or a story you remember that others might not, share it below. Tonight we look back at 4 unforgettable faces. Jane Seymour, the Bond girl who brought emotion but paid a quiet price. Barbara Bach, the woman who walked away from the spotlight. But why? Britt Ekland fame, attention, and a life constantly watched. Ursula Andress, the icon who defined it all but never escaped it. 1. Jane Seymour. Jane Seymour didn't enter Hollywood the way many others did. There was something different about her, something softer, more thoughtful. When she appeared as a Bond girl, she didn't rely only on beauty or presence. There was emotion behind her performance, a quiet vulnerability that made audiences feel something real. At a time when most roles for women were built around image, Jane brought depth, and that made her stand out. But standing out in Hollywood is not always a gift. Sometimes it becomes a burden, because once the industry sees you in a certain way, it becomes very difficult to escape it. Her early success came quickly. Recognition followed. Expectations grew, but Hollywood didn't always know where to place her. She was to just one thing, and in an industry that prefers clear definitions, that can become a problem. Behind the scenes, life wasn't always as graceful as it appeared. Relationships, personal struggles, and the pressure to maintain an image all began to build. And over time, the question became less about success and more about identity. Who was she beyond the roles? Today, Jane Seymour still appears in public, still respected, still admired. But her journey reflects something deeper, not just fame but survival within it. And maybe that's the real question: did Hollywood truly understand her, or simply use the part of her it needed? 2. Barbara Bach. Barbara Bach didn't need to demand attention. She had it naturally. There was a strength in her presence, something controlled, almost distant. When she appeared on screen, it felt less like performance and more like authority. Her time as a Bond girl placed her firmly in the spotlight. And yet, unlike many others, she didn't chase it afterward. In fact, what makes Barbara Bach's story so unusual is how she slowly stepped away from Hollywood at the height of recognition. Why would someone do that? For some, fame is the goal. For others, it becomes something they need to escape. Barbara's life took a different path. Relationships, personal choices, and a desire for something more stable led her away from the industry. But leaving fame doesn't mean leaving its shadow. Once the world knows your image, it does forget. Today, she lives a quieter life, out of the constant spotlight, away from the noise. But that raises another question. Was walking away her way of finding peace, or was it the only way to keep herself from losing it? 3. Britt Ekland. Britt Ekland brought something very different to Hollywood. She wasn't distant, she wasn't reserved, she was vibrant, energetic, full of life. And that made her instantly memorable. Audiences didn't just see her, they felt her presence. But with that kind of visibility comes something else. Attention. Constant attention. Her life quickly became public. Relationships were followed. Personal choices were discussed. And over time, the line between her real self and her public image began to blur. Because when the world watches everything you do, where do you go to be yourself? The pressure didn't always come from roles. It came from expectation, from the need to stay relevant, to stay visible, to remain the person people believed she was. Today, Britt Ekland still speaks about her experiences, still reflects on that time. And what we see now is someone who understands the cost of fame. But the question remains, was it the attention that shaped her life, or the pressure to never escape it? 4. Ursula Andress. Ursula Andress wasn't just part of the Bond legacy. She helped create it. Her image became iconic, recognizable across generations, a symbol of confidence, beauty, and control. And once that image was established, it never really disappeared. But being the one who defines something comes with a different kind of pressure, because everything that follows is compared to you. Her career extended beyond that one moment. But no matter what came next, People always remembered where it began, and sometimes that can feel like being trapped inside a single version of yourself. Over time, Ursula stepped away from the constant spotlight. Not entirely, but enough to create distance, and yet her image remains, frozen in time. And maybe that's the most powerful and difficult part of fame, when the world remembers you, but only as you once were. 4 women, 4 stories, 4 very different lives, shaped by the same spotlight. But now let me ask you one last question. Did Hollywood make them unforgettable, or did it take something away that we never truly saw?